What's happening, everybody? Y'all know what it is. It's another Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Y'all know what I do. Y'all know who I am. Hooda LK, I present. And today we're going to present a great artist. And when I say great, I mean the thought process of how her music is structured is way different than the normal. I'm a fan already, so I'm going to shut my mouth and let her get in here. A big round of applause for Ganga.
Thank you, thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hey, when I first heard you on Female MC's radio, I was blown away by the Pretty Girl song. But you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That one kind of hit home because I got daughters, and yeah,
hmm
the pretty girls do be doing. You know, that's exactly where all the pretty girls go. Is what you were saying,
Yeah,
like
yeah. It's the biggest question, like what happened to the pretty little girls, right?
right,
And if you've seen the video, like I used some of like my nieces and my friends' daughters. That was like I put them in pretty little white dresses and had them playing in the park to kind of send that message to like they all start out innocent. So what
right.
happened?
That's a fact. And do you
Yeah.
know what happens? Well, you in the song you do, but
Well, yeah, and it's still like I can't say I know what happened because everyone's story is different. It's not a cookie cutter story. But
right,
it's struggle. It's a struggle, and I think it's a product of their environment, and victim of circumstance in a lot of cases as well. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard being a woman. I was talking about that earlier with a friend. It's we need more of a stronger network of women and like a support group for each other versus kind of being catty towards each other because we all go through something and it's hard for all of us. So I think I just want to shed light on that with pretty girls. Like, where did they go? We out here, but it's rough.
so in your days of being a young pretty girl, the young like little,
Right.
is that where music inspired in your life, or you got into it later?
As far as when it started, yeah, for sure. My family really was all musical. Like my uncles were DJs. My brother rapped. I lived in the same building with DJ Doo-Wop growing up. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay,
shout out to the Bronx, T-Bout Avenue. What up? You know what I'm saying? So music was always around. It's always like had block parties around. People always battling. On the corner at the block party or after school. So it was always around me. I started out writing poetry at first, and then my brother was actually the rapper in the house. And so, following in my big brother's footsteps, I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna roll into MCing." So, yeah, and then shout out to DJ Doo-Wop. He gave my first start on one of his mixtapes early out, and then from there, I was like, "Yeah, I like this. I like this feeling of recording and rapping and put my words together over beats." So I think this is for me.
oh okay. And what age would you say you started, like
Um,
really being able to ride the beat? And
yeah, I was about 12 because I was in Catholic school, and I remember one day coming home from school. I remember like I pumped myself up all day, like I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna ask Doo-Wop if I could rhyme for him. You know what I'm saying? Like say a rap because I literally have to pass his door to go to my door. So
okay,
I was like, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna ask him. And I was about 12 years old when I did that. He was like, "You rap? All
oh,
right, bet." And he actually gave me a shot. And I was like, okay. And then I didn't really think that it was I thought I just was rapping for him, like, got on the mic and like somebody I said, he said, say another one. How many more raps you got? Say another one. So I was just like going through my raps. He was like, okay, okay. And then kind of like how you give like feedback and positive feedback and say like, oh, if you put this with this word, that would be better, it might land better, that type of thing as a youngin'. So I was like, okay. So it was like a long session, and then a couple of days later, I started hearing people like, yo, like, well, not hearing people was coming up to me like, yo, that verse you did was dope on Dual's tape. And I was like, what? They're like, you're Big Lee, right? You're Big Lee. And I was like, oh, yeah.
oh, that was your
They come to
name
find
before
out.
Gangali? It was Bigly?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
Big Lee, like in my youth up until like high school. And then like in high school, that's when I went to like a dance hall party, and it was like I told y'all, I was like it was in the basement, in the Bronx. They got like the aerosol lighters, and which if you think about it now, is really dangerous to be like in the basement, packed in
yeah.
more than likely one exit, and you got the Lysol, the aerosol can, the lighting, just making those flame torches. So it was one of those type of parties, like it was serious. The base, the walls are sweating, and it's like I don't know what's about to happen down here, but they was rhyming, and it was like a mixture of hip hop and reggae. It was a densely, heavily influenced reggae party. The DJs were reggae. But they let hip hop in, they let people get on the mic, and so I was like, yo, I'm, Big Lee, And they were like, word from, I was like, yeah, that's me. Let me get up there. So I got up there and I just started rhyming. The whole crowd stopped. And then the DJ was like, nah, I'm gonna like Big Lee. Gangali. Your name Gangali. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I got Gangali. And
Okay.
that's where it stuck with me from there. Yeah.
Huh. And how old were you then?
Then I was probably like 16, 17, like high
Oh, okay.
school age. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And you were still going to Catholic school around all this?
No,
Uh.
no, no.
Oh.
Catholic school was up until eighth grade, and then
Okay.
from then I went to the High School of Fashion Industries.
Oh,
So I
okay.
went to fashion in Manhattan, and
Mm.
that's where I went to school and graduated. They had like fashion shows, Liz Claiborne, like a lot of fashion designers come out of fashion industries. Fashion, yeah, because we went to fashion industries, and then the college is Fashion Institute of Technology. But I just went to the high school, and then from there I went to Virginia, and I went to Norfolk State University,
Oh, okay. And
and
what you
then
studied there?
sociology, the study of people. I wanted to be a lawyer
Oh.
initially, early out.
So you just
Uh,
answered one of my questions that would have been if there was no Ganga Lee, what would you be? You would have been a
yeah,
lawyer. Okay.
and ironically, that would be like a story for another day. But I've had I've done some legal work, so I feel like a lawyer at times. You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
So yeah, I'm like, yeah, like if I had to like take care of some legal paperwork and you're like, wow, meet with some people and represent, on my behalf, and not criminal stuff, nothing. I'm not a criminal at all, thank
Right.
God. But it still feels, it's pretty impressive. Like judges and attorneys were pretty impressed. Like, so there's no one here with you, just you. Yes,
Were
just
you one
me.
of the aggressive female battle rappers, or were you more like a I write songs?
So I never really considered myself a battle. This is a good question because no one's never asked me this before. I never really considered myself a battle rapper, but I was forced to battle, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I believe it.
So, like for example, and I can give you stories on top of stories on top of stories about it. But
Throw us
I'll
one
just
war
give you
story. Give us one war story.
I
One.
I'll give you one war. This is a war story right here for real. This is definitely a war story. So check it out. Picture this: Norfolk State, freshman year of college, and yeah, it was my freshman year of college. So you're kind of like first time away from home, but it's kind of like the second semester where I'm like, I'm not living on campus. I'm gonna get my own apartment with a roommate, and rent time come around at this particular time because the apartments are near campus. The landlords, there wasn't like really back in these days. They just go to the rental office. Like they would come in and knock on your door, like, hey,
Right.
you got that money order? Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So he was gonna be there at 9 o'clock. So all night I'm like, oh my god, I'm like $100 short on the rent on my part of the rent. Had everything but $100. Paid all the other bills, just $100 short here. And so my homegirl was like, "Oh, let's go partying." Chick, I just said I'm $100 short on rent. You want me to go where? You know what I'm saying?
The
So
young
she was like,
life.
right. And then we was in college though, and so then she was like, but think
Right.
about it. You still got to eat. It's ladies' night, so we're gonna get drinks. You're gonna get the buffet. So she started to make it make sense to me, and I was like, you know what? And then she was like, and Ed Lover, from
Yeah,
MTV.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. And level.
Ed Lover was hosting something like some type of show there. And so I was like, okay, that'll work. Let's go out there and see what's happening or whatever. So went out there. One of the promoters saw me and was like, oh, that's Ganga because I rap, I battle people, do DJ stuff for mixtapes, promos for radios, etc. So people kind of knew who I was at this time in the Virginia area, but not like that, from
Right.
school.
Right. Right.
And so the promoter was like, yo, you be rapping on campus and stuff, blah blah blah. I was like, yeah. So he was like, yo, let me introduce you to Ed Lover. And so he introduces me to Ed Lover, and I have to say now, if Ed Lover's watching it, I don't know why I said that to you, but that's just probably why this is a war story here. So this is where the war story comes into play. So I have to just say my disclaimer is I'm only thinking about I'm $100 short on my rent. So you can't really enjoy yourself, and you can't really be starstruck when you got bills and stuff.
Understood.
Well, that's me anyway. Other people, I can't speak for other people. That's me. Like I'm like, yeah, yeah, whatever. I'm $100 short on
Right.
rent. So he brought me over to Ed Lover. Ed Lover was like, oh, what, you rap? I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay, well, spit something for me. I was like, for $100, I'll spit some.
You wasn't tripping though, at all.
And I like straight face, not didn't have an attitude, but I was just like, hey, for $100, I'll rap for your work. And he was like, "What? So if I pay you $100, you can't rap right here. You got to get on the stage and rap." I said, "That's nothing. I'll rap. I'll rap for you for $100. I'll kill it." I said, "Matter of fact, tell the DJ put on this instrumental. Boom, boom, boom. I got a whole little joint I can do to this. I'm ready now.
Right.
$100. I'm gonna give you $100 worth of work." So he said, "I bet I'm gonna go ahead and I got to do this or whatever like that." It was like a couple of other groups performing, and he was like, "I gotta let this group go on, and then I'm gonna have like an intermission. Then I'm gonna bring you up to kind of like." He was like, "And this is important. You got to get the crowd hype." I was like, "All right, call me up, fine." So now I'm over there like, okay, I might get $100 for this rent. I might be able to pay the rent. So my homegirl's like, "Well, you're not gonna eat anything." I'm like, "I'm not gonna eat until this is over with."
Right.
She said the buffet might be closed. I'm like, "Whatever." We'll stand right here. He calls me on stage. Well, he does his introduction. Like, "Yeah, I got a couple of people who think they could rap in here, blah, blah, blah. I got a couple of people in here that say they could rap. What I'm going to do is a battle."
Oh, snap.
Yes, Ed Lover put me
Ed
in a
is a
battle
mess.
in Virginia Beach. Yes. He said, "What I'm going to do
Oh,
is
snap.
do a battle. I want 2 girls and 2 guys to come up on the stage now." So he brought me and another female on stage. He brought 2 males, 2 guys on stage. And then so they had me and the girl battle first. And I'm not trying to sound like, oh, whatever, but I battled her, I won. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so she had to lead the stage. I had to stand off to the side. The guys battled, and one guy won. So now we had to battle each other. And so he was like, "You think you could, take this out, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Yo, you got my $100? Like, at this point, I'm not even being nice with you. You're going to give me my money."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but not in a rude way. Like, you're in the mode of battling now. Like, I didn't even want to battle people for this.
Right.
So I was ready to give you a performance, not a battle. So anyway, went in crazy on the dude. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I don't know who that girl is, but give her the money. So I won. I won my $100. Plus, drinks was on them. Everything was good. Got more food. Forget the buffet. Order what you want, like type of night,
That's awesome.
And I couldn't even sleep. Like, I went home. I couldn't even sleep because I was like, I knew the landlord was going to be there like 8 o'clock. And I'm like, "Let me go. I got your money. Like, here's the money order. Boom, boom, boom." It was like one of those type of moments, So that's a war story for me because I don't like battling. You know what I'm saying? But I always get thrown in the arena some type of way. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, here we go again. So war, you just say you got to stay ready so you don't have to, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? So I'm definitely with that for sure. But I'm kind of peaceful. I'm a peaceful person. I like to give songs and I like to put you in a thought, but also I like to make people move, make people dance. It just really depends on what the beat says to me. I like to convey that back to the audience. But I like to do that more because you can take that away and you can sit with it, with a song, Right. And then you could kind of say, I know everyone has a song that they clean the house to, right? Everyone has a song that they I'm getting on the road, I'm about to do this road trip. I got my playlist, everyone has music that kind of is like a soundtrack to their life, And I just want to be that more so. To me, battle is war. Right. Ironically, we're on war stories. And even though we do have to claim our stake in that sometimes cause war, I mean, I prefer peace at the same time.
Same here.
I hope that answers your question.
Same here, definitely. So
yeah,
that was great. I'm not gonna lie, that was a real great war stories. I like that. Ed Lover but that sounds like something he would do from his TV persona.
It was, and let me tell you, I'm not even mad at him because he showed so much love after that. And like I said, I told you it was a war story because I was like, look, I'll rap for $100, really jerk mode, So he's like, all right, I got you.
Battle mode. That's wow. Okay, so. That was 16 too? No, you said college.
No, that was college. That was Norfolk State. By this time, I'm legal and grown. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Norfolk State. And honestly, I probably was close to dropping out from school. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I can't afford it. That's why I was like, I don't think it was freshman year. It was probably more so around sophomore year, the end of sophomore year, because I was off campus and, juggling a job and going to school and barely rapping when I could type of thing. So, yeah.
And was it hard, in those times? Because it was real male-dominant hip-hop for a very long time. It just changed, the last 5 years, maybe 6, where it's not as dominant.
I would say, yeah, it's twofold. It was harder because for women, like we always got to, it's only could be one. You know what I'm saying? Like you see how, like you said, it's male dominant. Like no one like breaks down the level of detail, even though they'll have debates about the top 5 MCs, etc. But no one's on a constant pitting and pairing male rappers against each other. You don't never really hear like, well, Busta Rhymes verse, is he talking about Eminem? You know what I'm saying? Like every
Right.
day. But
Right.
then it's like as soon as Cardi comes out, it's like, is she talking about Nicki? Like come on, it's like that constant pitting each other against each other. That's the one thing that I do hate. Early out, it was like only one girl could be in the crew. You know how the late '90s, early 2000s, one girl in the crew, male dominated crew, and then it's like she has to be over hypersexual. Do I have a problem against a hypersexual? I'm a woman. No, I don't. You know what I'm saying? I think it's dope that women should be sexy and feel sexy within themselves. Do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's not for me to judge or for me to say you're wrong, because I have a day when I'm sexy and I have a day when I'm in my sneakers and my jogging pants. It doesn't matter,
Right.
But I feel like we should also be able to show all sides of a woman. Like I said, not every woman is in heels and full makeup all day long. Some days women have to be mothers, they have to go to work, they have to be nurturers, they have to be nurture themselves. What I'm saying? And not every day is pretty. It's war stories within it. So as a result of it, I think they should allow women to be able to show more of that. And early out, it was kind of real limited what you can do. It's like either you're doing this or not,
right.
And then it's like if you try to be more comfortable with your look, then it's like, oh, you're gay or you're not, like, so why you don't have these many questions with men? You know what I'm saying? Like now, years later, you hear so many rumors and so many stories about how this one was gay, that one was gay, right? When it comes to these male rappers, but they never put that pressure on them. It was always on us. Like if you wear baggy jeans, you're gay. If you're not showing them much, too much cleavage, what's wrong with you? So it's like you did that. I faced a lot of that growing up. Well, not growing up, but early out. Well, I say growing up because I grew up in this music stuff. So
right.
I faced, you've seen a lot of that. And did I let it bother me? No. You know what I'm saying? I try to combat it by putting together a female MC group. You know what I'm saying? Of nothing but dope lyricists. You know what I'm saying? From the best of the best in their area and their genre, because not everything was just all hip hop. Some of it was like reggae, some of it was like a hip hop soul to it. But I was like, I'm gonna put together something to show guys that it is a plethora of women out here that are dope and we look completely different. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's okay to look different, So I did that after college, like, going into my 20s, late 20s, etc. And I was like, I tried it out and it worked out for a little bit. We got a lot of recognition, but then, just life happens. People get married, people have kids, and, so, and that's one thing that's also harder as a woman, because with a man, it's like, okay, you can leave your kids and your wife at home, and you can go to do what you do at the studio. But if you have kids, or if you have, you're the woman of the house, and it's like, okay, did I wash the dishes? Did I cook? Did I leave something? Are they hungry? Oh my God, the kids are hungry. I gotta get back home. You know what I'm saying? Or can I bring them? Can I bring them to the studio? Can they come with me? It's like,
yeah, that's.
And I don't have kids, thank God. Not saying thank God, but I don't have kids yet. You know what I'm saying? But I do have a little doggy that he probably seen more places and more traveled than some people's children do. But you know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for him, and he's taken care of. Probably better than some kids, but that's just me. I'm a fur mama, so I talk shit. Sorry.
You put your dog in the purse type?
No,
okay.
No. But he does have designer clothes. He does
really
like hoodies. He likes hoodies and stuff like that. And then people give him stuff because he's like really popular on Instagram.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I'll have him follow you later on.
Yes, and I will follow back.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, like his reels do way more than Mama's reels. I'm like, damn, if I could just get his numbers, I would be rich. Know. Right. He's starting out. I just think people like dogs. They like cute little dogs and cute little dogs and clothes and stuff. But he has a personality, like.
And what's his name?
Marley, like Bob Marley.
Oh, okay. Shots out to him.
Yes. Let me not say it too loud because he'll come in here and be like, "What's up?" Somebody call me.
Right. All right. Okay. So, accent. I hear an accent.
Yeah, Mom, I come from Yard. So my family is Jamaican, which is definitely why I represent with my name Ganga. I kept it because of the Jamaican party I was at with family. and stuff. But then, I was like, yeah, I want to keep that in me because what people to me, and this is just me speaking here. What I love about hip hop is what a lot of people, if you go deep, a lot of Jamaican people are the originators of hip
Right.
hop. So this is something that we actually cultivated from. They took from they were taken away from their home where they was playing their music and comfortable, and had to come to a place like New York, which is different. New York City is completely different from the Caribbeans. You coming
Mm-hmm.
into a city, apartment building, etc. But they brought their culture with them, and they brought music with them. But they also knew that this is a melting pot. So they got new music, they got Spanish music, they got house music, American South music, Southern music, blues, etc., R&B. And so they were able to cultivate that and say, we're gonna put this together and kind of make this thing called hip hop. And I would think originally, because I'm not a historian, so don't get me started on that stuff. But
Okay.
I don't think it was really originally called hip hop. I think it was like rap at first. You know what I'm saying? Like
Rap.
rap. Because that's what they were doing, just rapping on the mic. And then the culture cultivated into hip hop.
Yeah.
But to me, all of my original, like, I say these are my personal inspirations in hip hop, is 90% of them are Jamaican. We're gonna start with like Cool Herc, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Cool Herc. Pepper from Salt and Pepper. Those two female MCs made me want to be rappers. You know what I'm saying? And to know that Pepper was Jamaican. Busta Rhymes, you know what I'm saying? You already know what it is with Busta. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
love and respect him and his dialogue and that rapid fire spitting flow. Yo, if you ever had a Jamaican granny cuss you out, a
Yeah.
seeing which sound, seeing which, and talk fast, same way. Like, what about, you know what I'm saying? And you'd be like, yo, granny. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of, to see, like, they put the culture into their sound, like, and that just made me proud. Heavy D, I can't forget Heavy D.
Heavy
You know what
D.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mandalay, when he did that, because I never heard that in hip hop until Heavy D. As far as the Mandalay, like that, the tongue
Yeah.
roll, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I always heard it in reggae music, like the Sound Clashes, the Sting Internationals, the Reggae Sunsplash. That's what they do on the mic. One to the man, one for the nam. You know what I'm saying? They just
Uh-huh.
kind of take over and kind of roll it on the tongue. So I was like, when he did that, I was like, yo, Heavy D took it. Oh, that was dope. And the list goes on. The list goes on. So many more. You know what I'm saying? I can just go on. But for me, those are like off the top of my head some of my biggest inspirations, and it lets me know as a little Jamaican girl from the Bronx growing up, because I'm literally legit the third person in my family born in America.
Oh, okay.
So imagine, like, I always try to tell people that, they say, because they think that as black people they just see black, you're black. But I believe in culture. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, you could just see me and be like, oh, she black, she grew up in the Bronx, she hood, she this, she that. But no, I'm not hood. And at the same time, I grew up different because I had a different culture in my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom and them, they cook food a certain way. When we got sick, they treated us a certain way. They didn't take us to the hospital and give us Dimetap or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
they did home remedies and boil up a soup and sit down and put this by your head and you're all right. You wake up in the morning like, yo, I feel good. Like, you even broke. It's a miracle. Can I go outside, Grandma? You know what I'm saying? So we were raised different, in my opinion. And then coming out the house and going to Catholic school, that's a different clash. And then just going to like fashion industries and, you know what I'm saying, learning new culture on my own. It was like a venture and a journey, if that makes any sense. Like, I had to like navigate my way through two cultures simultaneously in my life. Like the one that I'm growing up with, and then they can't relate to the outside, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I had to be that bridge for them.
Right.
So it was plenty of war stories there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you try telling your Jamaican parents you want to be a rapper.
Yes.
Or I don't want to go to school no more. I
Mm.
wanna I wanna get some recording equipment. Yeah,
Mm.
stuff like that. So war stories on, we could do a whole series if you wanted to with this. But
I believe it. So, were you accepted though? Like being from the islands in New York? 'Cause I know they got a
of
lot of
course, it's
different
a melting pot.
nationalities. Yeah, they got
Yeah,
a lot of.
and that's what I love about being from New York. It's a melting pot. So, you meet Haitian people, you meet
Right.
Cuban people. And still to this day, like, what I love about it is the people that I went to school with, people that I grew up with, we're still in touch to some degree. Even if it's just Facebook or, I know it's a lot. I live in Florida right now, so I noticed in my area, I'm in the Tampa area,
Uh-huh.
a lot of New York. I call Tampa a tropical New York City because we have palm trees and everything. But you'll run into so many people you went to high school with, or so many people you went to school with, or grew up with on your block. You're like, wait a minute, what you doing? You live over here? Dang, I live over there. So over the years, I've come across a lot of people I went to like Catholic school with and high school with out here. So
Okay.
I thought that was pretty dope that, I understand though, because if you grew up in New York and you grew up in that snow, etc., you're like, I want to change. I don't want to be
Um,
cold all the time,
I understand
if
that.
you can.
In
Okay.
the culture of hip hop, do you feel that the Europeans are guests in the house of hip hop?
Um, that's a see. Can you see from my face
Yes.
how I feel about this? So I like to keep it politically correct.
Okay, fair.
Um, I would like to say that once upon a time they were guests,
Okay.
and there's almost kind of like I can equate it to like exploring land. Like the Indians were already there, but then it's like, hey,
Here
this is
to.
our land now.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I feel like that about it, but to some degree, like I feel like it all still comes down to talent and skill, because just because you're color coded correctly doesn't mean that you have the skills to pay the bills. So
Right.
I still feel it comes down to the talent. Like for example, and Random is the reggae artist, but like I love Collie Buds. I loved him for years, you know what I'm saying? And he just dropped something recently, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. So, I just feel like as long as you got the talent, you know what I'm saying, then you should be respected for it. But I feel like at the same time, it's almost like, do you remember how just like with the one female MC syndrome, and I don't even think I can't really compare the two honestly, but it's just like, you have that one female MC, so she's like, oh wow, she's the girl of the group. Wow. It's
Right.
like the wow factor of it. So I guess like the new wow factor is like, oh wow, you know,
There's a Caucasian.
yeah, they sound so black or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is like I'm not gonna say like they don't belong there or whatever like that, but I just like, hey, be critical of their music as like you're gonna be of mine. Be
Right.
just don't keep the same energy for everyone. Like don't be like, oh, they're a unicorn in the house, so we have to give them special attention or special treatment. Like, are they dope? Are they nice? Are they lyrical? You know what I'm saying? Or are they standing up to the talent? That's what I think really should come down to it. And because I feel like in my opinion, the colorism, the well, all of that has played out over the years. Light skin versus dark skin, mixed versus non-mixed. Good hair versus bad hair, and it's stressful. Like, come on, like, is that what's making the music, the looks, or is the people making the music? Like for example, to go back, the reason why I say at one time I like to think they were guests, but then kind of they've been here too. The whole time. If you go back in soulful music, some of the biggest writers for like and one of the songs I was like, wow, I heard a story behind it the other day, and I was like, wow, I didn't even know that. But he was like a 23-year-old white guy from I don't know where, Detroit or something, and he worked at, is it Motown in Detroit? Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah,
But
Motown.
yeah. So early out in the early days, right? And Smokey Robinson was on Motown, right?
Uh huh.
I want to make sure I'm getting the story correctly. So this is when Smokey Robinson was like a young songwriter for them as well. This dude, too, young white guy, was also a young songwriter and wrote mad songs for like mad artists up there. One of his biggest songs, ironically, he fell in love with a girl, and then the girl either cheated on him or left him for someone else, whatever, and he killed himself. Wrote this song, made the artist record it. So, and I'm gonna have to like offline, get that information to you, because I was like, wow, that's so crazy. Wrote the song out, made the person record the song, and then it was like, okay, we're gonna drop the song on, let's say, Friday, right? And he killed himself Thursday, and then the song dropped and became his biggest hit. And he was a white boy,
Wow.
and he was torn because he was doing soul music. And I think he was like Jewish or something, and it was just like whatever he was doing, it was against what his family wanted him to do, right?
Right.
And then he's in a society that he wasn't really accepted in. Like, you white boy, you ain't doing nothing. I ain't singing no white boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and then, I don't know, like, for me, I don't really know much detail about the woman that he was in love with, but I kind of feel like it was a black woman as
Right.
well. I don't know why.
Right.
Just the way it was tragic, it just feels like, yeah, she was black too. So, but all of that to say is, it's people. You don't know where the soulful, where the music is going to come from, or where the story that needs to be told is going to come from. But the gimmick of it, like, oh, we have to treat them royal or VIP just because, they're, white, or because they're, no, that's whack to me. Let the talent speak, let the music speak, and then we take it from there, and treat everyone accordingly and equally. If you're going to be rough on my music, damn it, be rough on everyone else's music. You know what I'm saying? That's what I say about it. If you're going to be critical of one, be critical of all. If you're not critical, if you're going to let this go through the gate, then hell, let everything go through the gate. That's how I look at it.
That's understandable. Okay, so let's get into this track that, we're going to set up.
Yes.
Which one would you like to throw in there?
So, yes, I'm going to bring it back to 2020. Shout out to the album La Esmeralda. I'm going to drop that Follow Me Now. If you can drop that Follow Me Now, good sir, that'd be dope for the people.
All right, let's get into it.
Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me now. Come follow me right now. I took the high road many moons ago. Now it's back roads, and I lay low. Agape love, unconditional. And I move from afar, I'm on a mission, yo. They never see me coming, now I'm here to stay. DM for your feature, I report all day. They thought I saw the game, but didn't know I played. Now they shocked as hell, I'll never look the same. Cause I keep it rockin', we rockin' all night. And it ain't no stopping, cause I do it right. Here's lit, we poppin', we out here shining bright. How cares forgotten, chasing the moonlight. Cause I keep it rockin', we rockin' all night. And it ain't no stopping, cause I do it right. Here's lit, we poppin', we out here shining bright. How cares forgotten, follow the moonlight. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me, come follow me, come follow me right now. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me, come follow me, come follow me right now. Since me born, yeah, life never easy. Living out the ranks with me mom and me granny. Coming out the dance, never smile, wasn't friendly. Cause if it was a prize, I was coming for the money. It's no coincidence, the label's name is Doe. What you witnessing is a major growth. We tell ourselves yes, while others say it's no. Then they second guess when they see the show. Far from done, while others can't get started. You must be strong, ain't for the faint-hearted. And it won't be long before I'm black-carded. And it won't be long before my songs are charted. Cause I keep it rockin', we rockin' all night. And it ain't no stopping, cause I do it right. It's lit, we poppin', we out here shining bright. How cares forgotten, follow the moonlight. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me, come follow me, come follow me right now. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me now. Right now. Come follow me, come follow me, come follow me right now. I seen the struggle in five-star luxury. They never call you until they see the money. Don't get caught up in fake love, they never happy. When they done with you, they'll carry news about you gladly. Life ain't easy, choose your roads wisely. Everyone ain't for you, even if they act all smiley. Or if they politely ask you for your source, I let them know it's a course, and exactly why I'm the boss. Follow me on IG, you know I follow back. Follow me on Facebook, I'm not on Snapchat. Follow me on YouTube for that real rap. Then follow my website, cause that's the real trap. I keep it rockin', we rockin' all night. And it ain't no stopping, cause I do it right. It's lit, we poppin', we out here shining bright. How kids forgotten, follow the moonlight. Come follow me now, right now. Come follow me now, right now. Come follow me now, right now. Come follow me, come follow me, come follow me right now. Come follow me now, right now. Come follow me now, right now. Come follow me now, right now. Come follow me, come follow me, come follow me right now.
Nice song. So why don't you go ahead and break down basically what that song is about?
Follow me now. So it's a play. Like I like to use a double play on things. So to follow me now initially, on social media, you want people to follow you. You want people to kind of be engaged with your. I do music. So I want people to be engaged with my music or the podcast or whatever I'm doing. But then also it's like on a metaphorical side of it, like follow the words to what I'm saying, because I'm trying to tell you the story about my path of what we should do as people, and like don't let these people because like I even break it down at one point where I kind of say people will try and like test you and just try and change you or whatever, but like follow your path, like follow me being different, being to my own drum. So like follow me now, like follow that path of being different. And like I said, like I used to take the high road, now it's back roads. Like say like I used to be up front, but now I'm in the back. Like I'm off the beaten path,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like follow me off this beaten path a little bit to being different.
Right.
I'm like all about being different, so I try to promote being different.
That is good. The more different, the better the chances of having new things.
I agree, and new experiences.
Right.
I agree.
Right. So, all right. So, have you ever thought about any time producing, or you just was like, no, I'm just gonna be the writer and do my part?
No, because I wear many hats. I don't just like write music. I record and engineer as well. And like I remember, we probably had a conversation before about it, but I was saying it's only a two-man crew. It's me and Colossal TV, and AKA Colossal Beats. And so we'll switch the hats around. So 90% of the time, the recording, like the actual recording session, is just me by myself. Like I record everything out. Then I'll do like the pre-production on the track, like pre-mix, cleanups, etc. Make sure it's leveled out. So it goes through a couple of mixes before it even leaves me, and then it goes over to Colossal, and then he'll put that fresh set of ears on it. Make sure like, hey, we could probably do this. Might add a couple of effects to it. Like, hey, let's spruce it up over here. You could do this part again. So we go through that process a few times, and then we take it from there. So between mixing, mastering, all that type of stuff, we kind of do a lot of it in house. We will tend to outsource when we kind of feel like, okay, this is bigger than us. We want a little bit more assistance on this. We don't have a problem outsourcing as needed. But so I wear engineering hat. I wear composer hat. Also, like, I'm blessed to say that the producers that I work with, in particular Colossal, shout out to Anthony Beat 6, shout out to DJ Yas, DJ Seek, the list goes on, I don't want to miss nobody. Shout out to Marty Blood, like, what I'm saying, like the list goes on to all my people that help me out. But what I will say about my producers is they are flexible when they work with me. So like if they send something and they be like, yo, if you want me to change anything, if you want me to do this to it, and then sometimes I'm like, hey, like, can you hear something like this to it? And then I'll be like, yeah, they'll add it to it. Or then sometimes like we'll just like Colossal and I will craft together. Like he'll be making the beat, I'm sitting there with him, and then he'll be like, do you like this? Do you want to go this way? What way you want to go with it? So I don't have the production skill set, but I am grateful to say that at times I am involved with the beat making side of it. Whereas like I can say like, okay, we're trying to, like you can kind of give your feedback and then they're receptive to it, my producers, and then we can kind of craft a song from there.
Okay. So do you work with outside artists as well, like with features?
For sure, I've done a track with Napoleon the Legend. Shout out to Napoleon. I've also done work with a lot of R&B people. I'm drawing a blank, but shout out to Lo Brown out there as well. I'm on his album. Shout out to Lo Brown. I also do a lot of collaborations with French artists, with European artists. So shout out to Strike out in France. Actually, Napoleon the Legend is also in France right now, but we collabed on the American side, and he ironically relocated to France because he's from France originally. So he's like a dual artist as well. Then we have DJ Seek. He's a dope producer out there. DJ Sarah K, Soul Intellect, like they're like Soul Intellect on radio. So the radio will be equivalent to like, I don't know, Power 105 or Hot 97 or like a hip hop station out there, So like I do know a lot of DJs that also are producers. And Dutre Toom, how can I forget? I'm on Dutre Toom's album. This drop, we have the song Le Monde. And like a lot of the projects are in French. Shout out to Olymp Records. I'm on their project that just dropped in December. It's called Chromatism. I have a song up there called Cocoa Butter Hills. So these are projects that majority of it will be like in French or German, but then of course I'm gonna come through on the track. So you can check those out. Cocoa Butter Hills is also on all streaming platforms as well, and that's also on all those projects. Yeah.
And so you're singing you rapping in French?
No, I'm not rapping in French. That's what I was saying. Like a lot of the other artists they're 100% French, but then you'll hear me coming through on the track and I'm in English, And then sometimes I might do like I don't know, with the French hip hop, I'm allowed to be more Caribbean with my sound. I guess I feel more comfortable being more Caribbean because they understand it and they love it. You know what I'm saying? So you'll hear me throw a little bit more accent in the raps over there.
Okay.
As well.
Yeah. How did you make that connection?
Shout out to Axel. How can I forget Axel, who's also is like a French beat maker coalition, and they span around the world, honestly, but they're just like, I guess, originated from Paris. And so Axel is one of them. And he reached out to me. I want to say it was like Instagram years ago, like early stages. And he was like, he said he got a hold of some of my music, and he was like, I just want to make sure that this is the person that I'm talking to. I felt a little like, what are you looking for me for? You're making me nervous. And then he was like, we would love to, fly you out. And he was like, not now. He said, I'm working on a show, but when I get everything together, I promise you I'm going to fly you out and I'm going to have you come to the show. And I will say it took him about 2.5 years to get his show together, but he has always been in touch with me. I honestly, you know how he's like, okay, if you say you got a show, you got a show. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't really give me anything to make me feel hype about it or whatever, but his energy and his communication made me feel like there was something genuine about this, So I just always kept in touch with him. He always reached out on Instagram, like, just like a longtime friend, like I knew him. And then he was like, hey, he hit us with a proposition for a show, which was ironically Thanksgiving weekend in 2018. And I was like, Thanksgiving with the family? Thanksgiving in Paris. So hard. I love my family. I love you guys. I love y'all. But I went to Paris that year. So me and Colossal, we flew to Paris. We actually spent Thanksgiving in flight. So we was on the plane for Thanksgiving, and I will say, I did not expect really good food or airplane food. I just didn't know what to expect. That was some of the best Thanksgiving food ever. I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is the airplane. Okay. So, so we got to Paris. It was really nice. Royal treatment. Like, I can't even lie. Great accommodations. Just great people. Like, it was just like love on top of love. And then it was a village in the suburbs of Paris called Ville Saint-Georges. And I always try to say it right. They always get on me. Villeneuve Saint-Georges. So I'm trying my best to say it and get it right because I will be back. But I will say, I went to this town and for me to be miles and hundreds and thousands of miles away from home or anything remotely close to anything familiar to me, I felt like I was in the Bronx. Like there's no other way I could describe it.
Wow.
The highway, the stores, the dudes, you know what I'm saying? The dress, like the way they were dressed, it was amazing. I was like, and they all like people was like coming up to me crying, like, Ganga, I just can't speak English, bro. Like they knew who I was, and I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. Like this is so crazy to me, you know. Like I was grateful and blessed. Dope experience. I want to come back. I feel like that's part of my home. And then there's like the trains. If you know, I'm convinced, like, you know, of course I learned after the fact, or, you know, that our same architect that designed Paris designed New York. You could tell because the trains, the buildings, everything that New York City has, it comes from Paris, like 100%. And so I was like, to see all of that, I was like, wow, so this is my home too.
Right.
You know,
aren't they the ones that gave us the Statue of
the
Liberty?
Statue of Liberty.
Okay,
exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
And that's after they did all the design and they hooked the city up. They said, boom, we're gonna put the statue up there for y'all, show y'all love. We designed y'all city up. Here you go. If you go to Paris, you go to Paris, you'll feel right at home. Like if you've ever been to New York, or if you're from New York and you go up there, you'll feel right at home. Like, oh, this is crazy, you know. And even like Paris to me reminds me more. It depends on where you go in Paris, but it gives me more of like Manhattan, like 34th Street, you know, like shopping area, like, you know. So it kind of gives you more of that. And, you know, it's Paris. So, and then you go to some parts that's extremely decadent and extremely like, I feel like I'm too poor to be on this block, you know. And then some parts you go to and it's just like, you just see the history, castles with moats around it. Like, I got to drive across this to go to that castle. Wow, you know.
I just learned what a moat is.
One city.
I just learned what a moat is.
Really?
Yeah, artist had a song called Moat. And I was like, what does that mean? And he broke it down to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
see?
yeah, I mean, I learned a lot through these interviews. I be loving it, especially the ones that have culture and, you know, really take in what the world has given to them. Some, you know, it's just all music, and then some take the experience, the traveling, the shows, you know, serious. And you come off as that. Yes, definitely. Okay, so one of these songs we're about to get into next have the people that you're talking about, right, on it. Or they worked on it.
So this one is Cocoa Butter Heels. We're going to play that. It's produced by Fleo off of Limp Records. It just dropped on Chromatism in December. So it's on all streaming platforms, but I think it's more so on it's like the European version of the platform. So you might have to spend a couple of euros to purchase them or just go to YouTube. But go ahead. It's Cocoa Butter Heels, produced by Fleo from Limp Records.
Okay.
Bonsoir.
Let's get into it.
I fell hard, left a scar on my knee. They said I'm only good as my last hot beat. I had to jump up, dust that dirt off my feet. I had to let them see a good sport in defeat. But now I'm bringing all W's home. Perpetual flow, forever in the zone. Letting niggas know things lining up for dough. It wasn't always easy cause some things had to go. Fake friends had to go, dead ends that's a no. Make sure I kill it live like it's my last show. And walk off with pride like Laomi on Vogue. And keep my spirits high like Snoop in the zone. Like hoops in the dome, I'm dunking on them tracks. Sending out that post, Ganga is fucking back. A little scarred up, but that happens when you black. Living in America, the world's on my back. I hide my pain, some scars conceal. Some days I feel lost, other days love is real. Rising to the top, praying for a couple mil. Another scar fades, the cocoa butter heals. I hide my pain, some scars conceal. Some days I feel lost, other days love is real. Rising to the top, praying for a couple mil. Another scar fades, the cocoa butter heals. The bruise heal, but it throbs when it rains. Sometimes I stand in it just to wash away the pain. It feels so good, the water beating on my face. Restore a bit of order, last leg of the race. Tracing outline of the scar and cocoa butter. Fade away the memories, days looking brighter. The glow up is real, melanated and empowered. Loving on myself, getting stronger by the hour. shower. The butters hit my body and it melts like parquet. From gutters to the lobby of a 5-star stay. They thought I wasn't prepped, stay ready every day. Remember when they slept, I'm in that booth laying flames. Top tier when I trek from Paris to LA. So show some respect when you whispering my name. Some do it for a check, but for me it's not a game. I crafted with the left, but my right's the better aim. I hide my pain, some scars conceal. Some days I feel lost, other days love is real. Rising to the top, praying for a couple mil. Another scar fades, the cocoa butter heals. I hide my pain, some scars conceal. Some days I feel lost, other days love is real. Rising to the top, praying for a couple mil. Another scar fades, the cocoa butter heals.
So, all right, that was a good one. Let's hear some more about Cocoa Butter Hills.
Let's see here. So it is produced by Fleo out of France, Paris, France. They reached out to me because I did another project. I did Le Monde en Control with DJ Yas, which is also from Paris, and it's Duce Toom and Strike. Those are two French rappers. It was their project, and they asked me to, be a feature on it for them. So between me coming to Paris and performing and then doing all these features, other producers are hearing the work and they're reaching out. And they're like, hey, I heard you on this, and reaching out. So now Fleo reached out and said, hey, I want you on this project, Cocoa Butter. He didn't say Cocoa Butter Hills. He sent me a couple of beats. And the beat stuck out to me because it was different. It was like, okay, this is not really my, but it's different. It stands out. But I said I want to challenge myself to be just as different as the beat. So in the process of all that, I've been working on the house. I've been working in the yard. And I got that's why my arms are down now. I got a whole bunch of war scars from branches and just renovating and fighting with this dog over here. So I'm like, oh my God, cocoa butter up everything. I'm cocoa buttering everything, And so as I've been cocoa buttering my scars and they've been healing, I've been saying to myself, mental scars can heal the same way if you focus on the healing and not the wound itself, Because the reason why I say that is like I had a big scar on my arm, right? From, honestly, it's either some yard work or the dog, but one of the two. But it just looked horrible. Like, what the hell? I looked like I was fighting with somebody or in a knife fight or something, So I think nothing about it, because at first I was upset about it. Like, oh my God, this looks terrible. But I stopped. I was like, I know it's nothing violent. There's nothing I did. It's just I'm out here working and taking care of my house. So I just cocoa butter every time I go to, take a shower, get dressed, cocoa butter, go to at night, cocoa butter throughout the day. Then I looked up one day and it was gone. And I was like, oh, wow, look. I stopped focusing on the scar, and started focusing on the healing. Like, just do what I got to do to make it heal. And you look up one day and it'll heal. So I feel like that with your mentals, you can do the same thing. If you focus on what it takes to heal your mentals, because for me, I'm not a crazy person, nothing like that, but the pandemic sent me into like a mental, thought process that I never, on a deeper level of thinking that I never thought about before, with family, with friends, like the meaning of life. Do I have family and friends? You start thinking about all types of stuff, right? Like, does anybody love me? Do I love me? You know what I'm saying? You start thinking about everything, right? And so you got to heal from, you have to work through that, you know what I'm saying? Kind of work through your thought process and focus on, it's all right. It's just a pandemic. It's kind of making us all a little, antsy or a little bit mental, but just work through it and kind of give yourself and focus on the healing part of it. So for me, I feel like I had to do that twice. I had to focus on mental scars and physical scars in the last 2 years during the pandemic, and focusing on the healing has allowed me to heal, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
And that's, I said, I wrote that into the song Cocoa Butter Heals. So it's talking about more so mental or emotional scars, but I use physical metaphors with it. Like, when athletes get hurt, they'll have a scar, or they have a pain knee or a bum knee, or if it rains, you broke your arm, it might throb, or the scar might throb, certain things like that. So I kind of use all of the type of things that would happen to you, in a war story, I guess, things that would happen if you're an athlete, or if you're a soldier, or if you're just persevering through, but physically, but also mentally, so I try to put the two together to kind of blended. So and I hope it helps people out, because it helped me out. It helped me out. A lot of people hit me up and was like, yo, I like this song. Actually, a couple of music execs hit me up and was like, the song is very engaging for, certain projects, and I was very proud of that. They was like, this has really kept my attention. This is very engaging.
Right.
And so, that, to me, I like compliments like that versus like, yo, you're lyrical miracle. That's my joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather that type of, that we can have a dialogue around it and have a conversation,
Right.
And then you're like, yo, why did you? Because this thing was very engaging to me. All right, I'm talking too much. Sorry.
No, you good. You good. Okay, so when you made that song and executives reached out to you, do you look for the industry, or are you trying to keep this all independent and in-house?
Look, my thing is teamwork make the dream work. So, like I told you right now, I don't mind doing the work,
Right.
but I don't mind, I'm open to suggestions and help as well, So to me, I feel like in order to be expansive, even as a small business, you're gonna, like, for example, if you're a small restaurant or a small, I don't know, let's say a food store, a restaurant, and there's a smaller restaurant than yours that's getting more business around the corner because they're on the internet and they're advertising on cable and they're advertising, but you're just over here and you have like your set customers that come to you because they know you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it kind of gets risky in 10 years trying to project what you can do, over here versus over here, where they're like, hey, I'm already expanding by the minute over here, So I don't feel like this should never not be an opportunity to expand. Like, you should never not consider it. But I definitely would like to keep control over as much as I can with the creativity. Well, my creativity, I'm not going to compromise on that. So I had to catch myself there.
Right.
But as far as like, what I'm saying? Like if I'm going to partner with someone, or, someone's like, hey, if you come over here, we'll give you X amount of, it has to make sense, because you see a lot of stories of these artists getting these deals and they're on Twitter next couple of weeks like, I want out my deal, let me out.
That's
They're
a
crying.
fact.
That sounds scary. That's scary, as an artist. I'm like, I'm grateful that I don't have to deal with that. I'm grateful that we are the record label over here, and we make the decisions. So as long as like really that's not getting compromised, I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind working and expanding and collaborating,
Makes sense. So would you find yourself working with provocative type artist that likes to do the close off types of rapping and stuff? Would you see?
I don't care.
And you'll get
I
on
don't
there and
care
give them
about-
some of that? You'll match the
Now,
energy?
now my thing is this: I will match the energy, but I will come at it from Ganga's point of view. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because
Gotcha.
I'm still a woman. I like to think I'm sexy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to say like. Now, I will tell you this, and my disclaimer: this is just because I also do research for my podcast as well.
Mhm.
So I talk about music, etc. I don't really interview people. I kind of just really talk about opinions, my opinions really, but I don't put opinions on people. So just here we go. That's just
Okay.
my disclaimer real quick. I seen a video recently with Megan Thee Stallion and a Jamaican artist, Shensia. Have you seen it?
No, ma'am.
And to me, I was looking at the comments, before I gave my opinion on it. I just was like, because, I'm maybe critical of both of them because I like both of them as artists, right?
Okay.
So I was like, before I get too critical, let me look and see what anyone else is saying, And people was like saying like, oh, Shensia, allowed Megan to force her style on her, like that's not her style and it doesn't look good, blah, blah, blah. So I understand, the girl came back, the artist Shensia came back and defended herself and said, hey, look, this has always been me. Y'all think I'm one way, but this is how I want to express myself, But to me, I feel like I understand what the fans are saying. Like, you could have still, you look like a mini Megan, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could have did it and still been you. Does that make any
Right.
sense?
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
like, for example, I can't even think of it, but like, we'll use Cardi B, for example. Cardi B did a song, an R&B song with the girl Normani. She has a song with Lizzo. She has all these different songs with different artists, but she brings herself to every song. Another person, I'll go even deeper than that. Another person that is honestly, this girl's one of my personal favorites, is Doja Cat.
Mm.
And the reason why I like Doja Cat, because she's unapologetic when it comes to her creativity, and she's very sexual with her lyrics. If you hear her, her songs, she's like beyond liberated, if you ask me. But that's not even why I like. I like it because she's very talented, and you can see it when she performs, etc. But just to go deeper with her, she has songs with everyone from French Montana all the way down to like Diplo. You know what I'm saying? From rap dudes all the way down to EDM. This girl, right? And everyone in between. And every song that she's on, you hear her.
Right.
She's
Right.
her. So I don't think that you should, in order to collaborate with someone, I have to not be me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If that makes any sense. I feel like, yeah, like I'll do a song with whoever, like whoever want to holler at me, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Definitely has to make sense. Because I think sometimes some songs, you hear some collaborations, you be like, I don't know, this didn't make sense to me. Like they could have done without that collab. You know how it is. You see music or whatever. You, as a consumer, you have your opinion as well. And as a radio, as a DJ, you all, as artists, we have our opinions. But sometimes we be like, that collab didn't work. Other times you could be like, okay, that was a dope collab. I didn't even see that one coming, and that was really good. So that's where I like to kind of get with it. Where when I'm collabing with people, and when I look at like collabs, like, am I gonna lose myself?
Right.
Is this gonna take me off? Because I don't care what genre it is. I'll collab with any. I've done R&B, I've done EDM, I've done reggae. I don't care about genres. I've done rock and roll. I have a really dope song with this group called Unsung Heroes out of Virginia Beach, like rock band from back in the days. That was so dope. So I don't care. Like I'll do any genre, but it has to make sense. And am I gonna still be able to be Ganga?
Hey, people are going to
Mm-hmm.
watch your interview and they're going to be like, "Wow, she dropped the G bomb 5 times on Hooda." I only have one rule on my show, and that's not to use the word genre.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. You gotta tell me that
I
beforehand.
forgot. The first time you said it, I said, "Okay, I'll let that one slide." And then you just said it 4 times back to back to back. I was like,
Sorry.
"Oh, she put
What's
the
your
dagger
rule
in
with
me."
that? I have to know now. What's your rule with that? Sorry,
Okay.
I won't say it again.
Because how Martin Luther King wanted everybody together, not see color. That's how I see music. So instead of saying nationality, I say human or person.
Nice.
Same thing with music. All of it is music instead of
I
just.
agree. I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying?
And I like that. I like that. So totally got you on.
See, I'm
You gotta
Hooda-
tell me that beforehand. I would have been good
Who
with
the
that.
LK, who the Luther King, Martin Luther
Yes.
King. You see what I'm saying?
No, but and that makes sense because that's my point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care like about that. I'll go from one end to the other of the spectrum as long as it's music, as long as it's fun, as long as it makes sense.
I can
And
start giving that spectrum. Say, hey, if you feel like you're going to drop the G bomb, say spectrum.
yeah,
On the spectrum. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, that
Yeah.
works. That
Yeah.
works way better. Yes, it does. Ooh.
Gotcha.
But I have
But
to
yeah.
leave that part in of me saying that because if not, then
No,
I have
that's
to
fine.
take
That's
all
good
that footage.
dialogue.
Yeah,
That's
because
good
people are going to be
dialogue.
like, oh, wow, I couldn't say it. And, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah.
So I apologize. I forgot. It's not on her. It's on me. So
Yeah.
yeah, period. That's on
No,
me.
you're good.
But your podcast, let's get into your podcast before we get into the next
Yes.
song. It's
Yes.
called She Can Talk.
Yeah, She Can Talk podcast is on all streaming platforms, wherever podcasts are available. And yeah, it's a one woman show. Every now and then I'll have guests up there. Lately, I've been trying to like have more women guests to empower women in business, women in entertainment. So I had a guest. One of my guests was DJ Sarah K out of Paris, France, because she's like a celebrity DJ in her own right out there, and she do her thing. So I was grateful to have her come on the show and kind of tell us about what she do and talk about being a female DJ in the industry. I've had a life coach up there talking about helping women navigate through depression, navigate through new marriages or just life changes, because it's things like you don't know what people are going through, and sometimes people don't know where to go to get that information. So I try to give them a little bit of everything. I'm a foodie. I love to eat
Me too.
and cook food.
Me too.
So if you go to on Instagram, Colleen Eat Wings, you can go up there. It's Colleen Eat Wings. That's how you hear it. COLLEEN Eat Wings. And a lot of people send me sauces. They send me different recipes to try. So I always try out different sources, different recipes, and I always put it up there as well. And I'll talk about it on the She Can Talk podcast. So like say if someone sent me something, I'll review it and then I'll talk about how it was in more depth on the show. So you always catch food, music, and some type of current event. Like recently, I talked about I'll talk about like anything, verses or something in news, something in sports, just whatever is kind of like bubbling up at the top of the entertainment news industry. But I'm not really on that every day. Like every day I got to report this. Every day I kind of like what's gathering right now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna talk about that, and then I'll do an episode on it.
Okay. And when do you normally drop it? Like what days?
So I drop it normally on Wednesdays, but I've been kind of cultivating or going back and forth, I should say, between Wednesdays and Fridays. So at least by Fridays I'll be up for sure. Like I said, I've been focused on this release, so I haven't dropped in a couple of weeks, but I do have a new one coming up here for you guys on this Wednesday. So stay tuned. But I have over 20 episodes up there, so you guys can start from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Come back on up. You will be entertained, and what I am proud of is my podcast has a diverse audience. I try to keep it neutral, but I also try to keep it real. So I do talk about things that are real to a Black woman, you know what I'm saying? And I also try to give my perspective on things, like, because sometimes people might not understand if they're not in that shoe, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I try to like give things a different perspective,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's set up this next joint that we're about to get into.
Yes. This is going to be obvious. When you sleeping, just know that I'll be up. Yes. So this was produced by Anthony Beats 6 out of Paris, France, by way of Corsica. Like I told you, the French beat making network is huge. So shout out to Anthony Beats 6 and Obvious. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Humble beginnings early out in the Bronx. I knew it'd be a fight just to get what I want. I dumbed that shit down to let those other broads stunt. I tried to play it off, but low key it felt wrong. I knew I was supposed to shine real bright like the sun. Knew I was supposed to pop real hot like a gun. Smoke good, grow, eat good when I'm done. I didn't understand all those struggles early on. Yo, grass is green, but them mistakes still slither. Fire set to gas, now that road's done withered. Shorty put on glass, but she a real hater. But Cat said I needed 40 more to be greater. Journey continue, close to the equator. Feeling like I do, vibing to my culture. Others living trite, but demand all that glory. Flashes of their lives all up in their IG story. When they sleeping, just know that I'll be up. Didn't think it was real, now it's obvious. I told you doubters one day that I'll be up, and now they mouth is shut, cause it's obvious. When they sleeping, just know that I'll be up. Didn't think it was real, now it's obvious. I told you doubters one day that I'll be up, now they mouth is shut, cause it's obvious. The gloves is off and I only live once. Could never take a loss when I started this for fun. Knock down 9, back up on 10. Soak in the tub, in the morning back again. Feel the pressures of my family, where we gotta eat. Feel the pressures of my fancy, so I keep it street. I play with many styles, so just know they on me. They play with many lives, sell it all for a stream. I forge many roads from NY to Paris. Kill all my shows, buy a ticket and come see. I write my own songs and I plow through these beats. Spread love or shed blood ain't really up to me. They all stop when I walk in, I could never be low key. They all stop when I'm talking, I'm so eloquent with my speech. Hip hop insomnia, I could never get no sleep. Up late recording, cause I gotta kill this beat. When they sleeping, just know that I'll be up. Didn't think it was real, now it's obvious. I told you doubters one day that I'll be up, and now your mouth is shut because it's obvious. When they sleeping, just know that I'll be up. Didn't think it was real, now it's obvious. I told you doubters one day that I'll be up, now your mouth is shut cause it's obvious. When they sleeping, just know that I'll be up. Didn't think it was real, now it's obvious. I told you doubters one day that I'll be up, now your mouth is shut cause it's obvious. When they sleeping, just know that I'll be up. They didn't think it was real, now it's obvious. I told you doubters one day that I'll be up, and now your mouth is shut cause it's obvious. I'll be up. Obvious. I'll be up.
All right, obvious. Hey, I love that song. I do love that song.
Thank you.
Yes, I love that song. It's fire. Yes, it
Thank,
is.
thank you.
Yeah. So, what made you feel that everything is so obvious on your end?
Um, well, it wasn't obvious. That's actually the play on it. It's
Oh,
because it's not obvious to some. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So my whole thing is like once it becomes more clearer to people, or it's almost like sarcasm. Like it'll be too late when it becomes obvious. You know, like
Mm.
so like it's like when they're sleeping, just know that I'll be up. They didn't think it was real, but now it's obvious. You know,
Obvious.
so
Right.
it's like they're I kind of wrote that song from a place of just feeling as an artist, you get into those moods, and especially like I told you, the last 2 years with the pandemic, and like just things shifted for me. Like I used to go to work and whatever. All my stuff is I work from home. I do everything in house now. Like my studio, if I was to pan around, you would be like, okay, she has a whole warehouse over there, So just a lot of things changed, what I'm saying, and we had to bring production home, etc. And I don't know, just kind of just made it more real. Like, life things could, if something happens here, it could trickle down and affect you into your home life. Like the government trickled down to here, and it just
Obvious.
kind of made things look. Yeah, exactly. It made it more obvious for me. Like, stuff is real out here. So it was like a combination of that. And I then feeling as an artist, like, am I even doing my best as an artist? You start questioning yourself. Am I even an artist? Do anyone like me? You start having those type of doubts, I guess, just being honest, because the last couple of years was crazy. So I just started kind of doubting, like, am I supposed to do this? Hello, Santa. That, they like, so, but I think after a while I kind of got it together, and I was like, nah, we're supposed to do this. And it's going to be obvious for them. And when it becomes obvious, it's going to be too late, because we're already going to be too gone. We're going to be up the charts.
Right. That's
So
good.
that was the energy from that one. Just like we get back on track, and the train's rolling out, and so that was the first caboose of the train.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, so now you probably don't know if I say Shang Tsung, but I'm talking from Mortal Kombat. You ever
Okay.
the ending man? He's a soul grabber. He takes souls and he uses
And he's
back
like,
against
finish
you.
him.
He does that. Yeah. I don't know if that's him, but you do finish him. You got to
Yeah.
finish him to win for sure.
Okay.
As Shang Tsung, because you are a complete, you're the end game right now for the ladies. If it came to,
Thank you.
I'm just keeping it honest. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Don't thank me. Thank you.
Look, let me do the bow.
Who would you say influenced your style the most? Well, or who them? I don't know how to say a group, but more than one. Who would you say, if you made a mixture of your style, what would the ingredients be?
See, that's hard, because even with like them trying to place me on platforms like my music or whatever, like some of the streaming platforms have to reach back out, like, where should we place this? So I get a lot of times I get dropped off in the alternative rap category.
Okay.
Sometimes I get dropped off into the international rap category.
Okay.
Sometimes my releases, it'll be like, okay, we're gonna have this release at January 28th at midnight, but it drops on January 27th at 6 p.m. because it's dropping at midnight in Europe, because the fans are bigger out there, or showed more interest out there. So I'm like, so I don't really say that I have a person that I would, this style I got a little bit from there, or that style, but I can say influences wise, I would say definitely my reggae background, my roots and culture, like Shabba Ranks. If you're familiar with Shabba Ranks,
Oh yeah,
he
Mr.
was, he was like,
Shabba.
yes,
Yeah.
and he was one of the first like reggae artists that converted over to like hip hop.
Facts.
Like fused the hip hop in there, and was all in heavy rotation on the radio. Also like Super Cat as well. Like those kind of like, because like Super Cat got that, he got the cadence to it, but he's also hype, and it's like he's also scary, like a gangster.
Yes,
like,
he is.
You know what I'm saying? So growing up with all of those type of things, I was like, I want to embody that, but in like a woman.
Okay.
And so I kind of took that, and then like Latifah.
Oh yeah,
She
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
like, I'm tall, so she's a tall woman. Like, I don't know how tall she is. I might be taller than her, honestly, but she struck me as a tall woman growing up. So I was like, there's tall women in the industry, yes, because every time I met a rapper or met a celebrity, they were like, here to me.
Right.
And I'm like, damn. So now this is like a hella giant trying to ask you for a picture. I don't want no picture. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so because I'm tall, you know. So I don't know, just anything, any type of representation of I can see myself in it. I definitely go for it. But I say I try to keep a lot of hypeness, a lot of cadence from like the Caribbean artists do. A lot of the you know, just like the melodicness to their rhymes. Because if you listen to like a dancehall artist, they're just rapping with an accent. You
Right.
know, I'm not talking about the reggae artists, not reggae music where that's like would be R&B if you get if you say, you know, but the dance hall, that's
Mm.
rapping, you know, and the way they get hype on it and you know make words that don't rhyme. I love that, you know. So I get a lot of that from there. Now to bring it over to the hip hop side, the list is endless. Like I love Jay-Z. I love the calmness of Jay-Z. That the way he delivers and he articulates so calmly because, like I said, coming from the reggae side with me growing up hearing all that, we up, pull up, like I'm that type of artist initially. So as I'm maturing and finding different levels to myself, I started to respect artists that like can articulate better, and then I'm more calm with it. Like definitely Drake.
Mm.
Drake is at the top of my list. Like I love Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say one day he's gonna fly out. I got a private airport down the street. Just fly out and pick us up and bring us to the studio. Latest. You
Word.
know, we just want to go to the studio and get these tracks in. But yeah. So like, but what I respect about him on a serious note is that he articulates. Like you can I don't care what anyone says about him. You can legitimately sit there and listen to what he's saying, and you can start to see what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is. Like if he's in the car with a girl and the girl didn't want to hear the song, so she put Ludacris back on. He's like, you felt that heartache for him. Like wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes to me. It goes deeper than just saying a rap or saying something catchy,
Right.
or annihilating your opponent. Is creating a piece of art, So I think inspiration as of lately has been artists like those that keep creativity at the forefront, as well as being able to kind of keep it relatable for their audience. So that's what I've just been working on, trying to make relatable music and just keep creativity at the forefront. So anyone who's doing that inspires me, regardless of spectrum. What end of the
Okay.
spectrum they're on. I caught myself. I was about to say it though. So regardless of what end of the spectrum they're on, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for
You're
restraining
welcome.
yourself.
I
I
got you. I
appreciate
got
that.
you.
Yeah, okay. So all right. So all right, now we're gonna go ahead and first I wanna know, how was your birthday? January babies represent. Aquarius
Yay!
stand up.
Hey,
Whoop whoop,
Aquarius
you know what I
up.
mean?
Yes, it was amazing. I dropped the coldest winter ever on my
Mm-hmm.
birthday. I'm so proud of it. I was trying to think, like, some people were like, I don't know, that might be too presumptuous. But I'm like, if you think about it, Facebook asked me to set up a charity for someone else on my
Right.
birthday. Why shouldn't I ask my fans and friends to share the music and show some love on my birthday? So that's what I did this year. And I don't know, I just had a wild out the box idea. And I was like, you know what? I'm so tired of Facebook always trying to put their charities on me. I'm going to do my own charity on me. And not really a charity. I just took it upon myself and just said, this is my birthday. But the coolest winter ever it's deep. It has a lot of meaning to it, and my birthday was very significant in that, so it had to be dropped on my birthday, and it just made my birthday fun. It made everything great. We partied it up. I didn't really, let me tell you, my type of partying is in the house with champagne and
Oh
food
yeah,
with,
that's the best.
so yeah, that's what we did. We
I did the
partied it
same
up.
thing.
We had charcuterie boards. I had some chocolate dipped strawberries on some beautiful layers of cakes. It was beautiful,
Oh, okay.
but it was all at home, and just the way I like it. You're a fellow Aquarian. You know how we roll.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
opulent but private.
Yes,
So
yes, yes. That's it. And the
yes.
funny part is, mine was the Friday before, and then yours was the next Friday.
Ah,
I'm the
that's
21st.
let me tell you, my grandma's I knew I liked you. My grandma's birthday's on the 21st.
Oh, let's
So
go.
I have an album called Vintage Roots. Whenever you get a chance, like Google Vintage Roots.
Okay.
That's my granny celebrating her birthday in like 1965 in Central Park, New York. on the cover of that album.
That's called
And
Vintage
so,
Roots. I'm gonna write that down right now.
Vintage Roots, yes, and that's dedicated to my granny. Shout out to, so you a birthday twin with my granny, so you are a dope individual.
Thank you.
You don't even gotta say anything else to me. Good, you in the good book.
Thank you.
For real, yes.
Yes. So, one thing I want to say, it's been a pleasure having you on the platform. I appreciate it, and
I appreciate being here too. Thank you.
Yes, it was a blessing, and I learned a lot. That's a good thing. I'm pretty sure my listeners are learning a lot, and they definitely need to check out She Can Talk podcast.
Yes, please. She Can Talk on all streaming platforms. She Can Talk the podcast with your girl, Ganga. My real name is Colleen, and on the show, just to kind of give you a little normalcy, I go by Colleen, so I'm even more intimate with you guys. Come on over and join me when you get a chance.
Look at that there. That's right.
Yes.
And we're going to leave y'all with this track, but before we do, I'm going to let her set it up, and then I will say my piece, and then y'all know how we do it. So go ahead, ma'am.
Yes. Once again, y'all, it is Ganga, your girl out here on War Stories Radio. We're going to drop this for y'all, the coldest ever, produced by Colossal Beats, a Colossal TV, on Doe Records, the label. We out here with y'all. Check it out on all streaming platforms, but in particular, check it out here tonight. We about to get cold. Drop that for us one time, y'all.
Let's get it. All right. And with that being said, positive energy always create elevation. Yes. And if that was over y'all heads, all I'm saying is peace.
Peace. The coldest ever. I'm still proving myself, but now improving myself. At peace with the pain I endured, and at ease with the scene a little more. It took some time for me to get here. Had to walk rough roads just to see clear. Had to act tough to protect her. Little girl born in the coldest winter. Colleen. Now I'm all grown up. Gulf of Mexico style blown up. Plan my next move and then show up. Zen life brown girl with the glow up. They're not ready for it. A little nervous, but I'm here for it. No shade, waiting my turn for it. All pain, but I still learn from it. Now it's love with it. The coldest with it, and I'm cuffing it. Beat that stick, and they loving it. Tongue so sick, I cough lyrics. The coldest, the coldest, the coldest ever. I am the coldest, the coldest, the coldest. I am the coldest, the coldest ever. In the booth, way past midnight, trying to get my vocals right. So quick to judge my product, but what they bring it to the table don't weigh right. Anyone could get it when I serve it. The win's for those who deserve it. Been putting in all this hard work, 10 years in, I believe I'm worth it. Lost in the track like snow, breaking down my lines like blow. Cold so long, almost froze, but my heart so warm, now it flows. Straight out the mud, black snow. Concrete out the jungle, black rose. Throw dirt on me and I grow. Spitting pure ice, it's about to get cold.